Today we're going to be taking a look at just some of the things I have on my computer that, oh, not this. Some of the things I have on my computer. Oh yes. It's going to be cringy, it's going to be cool, and it's going to be awesome. Hopefully we can get special guests today though too. It's kind of what I want to do. But yeah, anyways, I think for this episode we're just going to be ranting on like all the cards I made in the past and stuff. Um, I made a lot of big mistakes when making sets, but I think overall, um, I had fun making some of them. It's just that, you know, I have gone through a lot of, I've gone through a lot of things, and I've learned a couple of, tips on making cards, and I feel like I kind of messed up on these cards, and I know this is like a random segment to give in, but um, I'm just doing this because, um, I kind of just want to talk about it. It's interesting. It's, and you can probably see my YouTube channel, but whatever. So I'm gonna go on. Yeah, you see what I'm doing. Live stream podcast. I'm really iffy about this. Time. So yeah, all that stuff. Hopefully I can get some guests after the segment's over. So anyways, we're just going to be talking about the cards that I made in the past. Now these weren't for a long time ago. It was probably like 2 or 3 years ago, probably. So we'll just go through it. The first set I made wanted to be like a Hasbro theme. But if anyone doesn't know this, I'm actually a brony, if you didn't know. So yeah, the reason why my name's Vinyl is because of this thing right here. Um, and this thing right here. Not this thing, though. This thing's redstone, by the way. I might need this for the light. I could probably just turn off the light. I'll just use this as a light source. So yeah, we'll leave it right there. Let me get the lights. Let's make this dramatic. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see me, but I'm right here. I have the lights on and stuff. So yeah, we're just gonna be talking about cards. I'm gonna double check just to make sure you can see me. Yeah, you can see me. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna go through these cards and we're gonna kind of rant about them. So the first card, and this is, I don't know if this is in order, so whatever. So the first card we have here is Applejack. 2 green. I should have got another name, but I don't know. I guess I was lazy. So it's a 2 green, 4/4 with trample. Okay, that's a little bit overkill, honestly, for a 4/4. It should be maybe like a 4/3. Probably make more sense. It is a green creature after all, though, but it shouldn't be that powerful. And when you tap it, Applejack deals damage to target player equal to the number of forests and creatures you control. Like, damn, that is really powerful. Play this in a tokens deck, play this in a flood deck, and wow, this card's just broken. I don't know why it's, you know, not banned. It's not banned in my format though, with the Mander format. This is only Mander legal stuff, so, or Commander legal stuff, I mean. So you won't be seeing it in like standard. Although I did make a standard thing, and I don't believe she's banned, so go nuts on that. Next we have Bow Through the End. Now this is a banned card from Commander. It's a 2 white/blue enchantment. And you'll see why. It's whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, clash. So if you don't know what that means, each clashing player reveals the top card of his or her library, then puts that card on the top or bottom. Player wins if the card is higher remaining out. But usually this benefits you, and this can combo well with Sensei's Divining Top, Scroll Rack, and a bunch of other stuff, It's when you win, cast an instant or sorcery from the top of your library without paying its mana cost. I feel like that's too broken, and it usually will benefit you if you're playing it in the right kind of deck. So that's why I banned it, because of that reason. It would just create a little bit of a broken type of environment, and because blue-white decks would be really powerful to get that effect, you know. And it's just crazy that's not legendary, so yeah, I had to ban it for that reason. It was just way too powerful and stuff. So, the honestly, this was a mistake of a card. Oh, when I said without paying its mana cost. And for an enchantment, it's not easy to remove. So honestly, I should have not ever created this card, but I did. So whatever. It's created. You can't really do anything about it. Okay, next card is Celestial Palace Guard. It's a 2 white unicorn. It's defender. It has flash, 6 toughness, and you can pay and you can tap it to tap target attacking creature. Okay, so pretty good, honestly. Although I think I would rather have the other what's his name, like Gideon's Legionnaire or whatever it's called, that also does the same thing. Except it's not a defender. You can get it out turn 1 though, so it's pretty nice. And it says tap target attacking creature, so like the wording there is kind of weird, but I think this is before. But when it's attacking, see, that wouldn't really make sense. So I don't know why it says tap target attacking creature, because attacks would already be declared. So I don't know why this wouldn't work, because the attacking creature is already attacking. Now this would work against just like vigilance, but they would still be an attack because they are in the attack phase. So I don't know. This card is weird. It doesn't really work. I think I errated it to say tap target creature, but I'm not too sure. So yeah, whatever. Next up we have Cataract. It's a 2 blue red instant. Counter target spell, deal damage to any target of that spell's converted mana cost. So that's actually pretty good. So if someone's going to cast Omniscience, play this card and say, I'm going to deal damage to your face, take that, you lose. So yeah, it's a pretty powerful counter spell. Way better than like uh, Ash to Dust or whatever it's called. It's a really powerful counter spell, and I really like the mechanic of this. So pretty solid card I made. So not too bad. Next up we have Cozy Glow Evil Mastermind for 4 blue black legendary creature Pegasus. Oh yes, we can go in there. It has a lot of text, so bear with me. It's flying, it's a 2/3, so not really crazy good stats, but when you cast Cozy Glow Evil Mastermind, destroy all other creatures with higher power or toughness than her. Okay, so referencing her is kind of a big deal when it comes to Magic. They used to do that, but now they don't. So I don't know why I referenced it here. Probably to shortcut all the text. So yeah, and there's people say this card's broken. I know in my Discord people think this is a broken card, and I don't know why. Then when you attack, look for a card in an opponent's library, choose a card, and exile that card. That opponent shuffles his or her library. So it's kind of a unmoored ego effect, except for like one card, which makes sense. It is commander, so. And then you can tap this to look at target player's hand, choose a non-land card. That player exiles that card. So you can also, yeah, you can go through their hand, their library. You see what this card gets to. You're basically building a deck where you're trying to take away all their answers and yeah, kind of leave them with nothing. And this card kind of answers all of that, especially all the things it does, like destroy everything with higher power toughness, look at their library, and then look at their hand. It's just crazy, you know. I can see why this card would be powerful, but honestly, it's a 2/3 with flying, no invasion, you know, like with hexproof, so it's pretty easy to kill. But we'll get with that in a moment. There is a one card that has hexproof. That is this card. It's just upgraded. Next up, we have Discord Lord of Chaos. Oh god, here we go. It's a 5 blue red legendary creature Draconequus. Has protection from black and reach, so there's kind of an error with that. It shouldn't say and reach, it should say reach in the comma, not protect. So it's like saying it has protection from reach. That's ridiculous. So I don't know. So then, okay, so when you cast this card, each player removes the top of his or her library until each player reveals an artifact, enchantment, sorcery, or instant. Each player casts them without paying their mana cost. So that's pretty crazy. You're like getting a kind of a chaos warp effect, and yeah, that kind of makes sense. And then you can tap this with, and then it says each player casts a random spell without paying its mana cost. And then it has the little thing of each player chooses a card face down with an opponent, which you don't really have to do, but you could if you really want to. I don't know. So yeah, 6/6 for 7, and it has protection from black. That's pretty good. I mean, damn, you're going to be playing a chaos-based commander deck, but oof, it's a pretty good one, honestly. So the only problem I think with this card has is the way it's worded with the first line of text. I don't know what I was thinking there. So it's just really weird why I chose that text. I guess I wanted to shortcut some things. Next up, we have a Equestrian Royal Guard. This is a 2 white pony with Vigilance and Flash. 3/4. So there is actually a deck archetype called in the Mander standard format called guard decks, which try to use these guards to overwhelm the board and have just basically really good effects. So this is a weird wording. It says exile a creature that's tapped and attacking, and by the way, it does not say when it enters. Yeah, it should say when it enters. Um, so I don't know what I did wrong there. Maybe it's on cast. So I don't know. It doesn't specify when you're supposed to cast this, but whatever. I errated it to say when it enters. But then when this card leaves, return that creature exiled with this card to the battlefield and return target creature to its owner's hand. So you can kind of get a 2-for-1 out of this creature, which is really nice, you know. And I get why the guard deck is really like top tier. The Close-Eco control decks are just really good though in the standard Mander format. So yeah. Next up we have Flash Magnus of Loyal Heart. It's a 4 blue red legendary creature Pegasus. Um, oh, someone's watching. Thanks. You can comment and I'll try to get to it, but I'm just ranting on these cards. So it's Flash Magnus of Loyal Heart, 4 blue, red. So that's a lot of mana you're going to be spending. 5/5 with flying. And then whenever a source you control deals damage to anything, it deals 2 times that much damage. Wow, that is powerful. And it says when a source, like to anything, that's just insane. Just put like this commander could be really good in like a double up effect type of deck. Just put injury to insult in there. There you go. You can sure quadruple it. And then you can tap it, and Magnus of Loyal Heart deals damage to opponents equal to the number of red instants in your graveyard. So you can kind of do like a spell slinging kind of thing. So it's pretty nice. I think the only problem I think with this card is that I think the power lies in the way you build around it, and you could probably just untap it and stuff. There's probably a lot of ways you can untap it. So yeah, that can get out of control pretty quick. So yeah, I don't know about this one. It's pretty good if you know how to build around it. Next up, it's gonna just get cringier the more we go into it. We have Fluttershy for 1 green and a white, and I don't know why this is not banned. It's a 1/1 with flying. Other creatures you control have regenerate, no cost. You just have to tap it. Okay, but it says other creatures, so I guess if you destroy this, you kind of just get rid of that downside. The only problem I think what this card has is if you give this thing indestructible, there is no way you're going to kill this thing. And I feel like that is a bummer if you can't kill it like that. So I don't know, I was thinking of designing this card. People were thinking of banning it. But in the commander format, they thought it was too slow, so they kept it unbanned. But I don't know, you know, like there's a lot of crazy decks out there that can just kind of just, you know, can't really get rid of it. So I don't know, like, this card kind of screams banned, but I don't know. It's a little bit too powerful in my taste. Next up, we have another banned card. It is Friendship Greeting. It's a 2/2 sorcery. And you'll see why it's banned, probably because of the mechanic, but also because of the way, it's worded. But there is a rule where the spell has to resolve in order. So you can't do this like indefinitely, like with trade secrets or whatever it's called. So each player may reveal cards from their hand. If a player does, they draw a card for each card they revealed. If they don't, it resolves in exile. So it has also donate, and as a spell resolves, if they revealed cards this turn, put it in target opponent's hand instead. So you kind of seen what the unfairness to this card is. Even if your opponents revealed cards, you still give it to one of your opponents. Now, two-headed giant, I don't think this would work, but I'm not too sure about that. So what you can probably do is, I guess if they have 0 cards, you just kind of benefit off of this. And you can draw a lot of cards from this. If you just reveal your whole hand, you're drawing a fresh 7 cards. So the reason why I think this is banned is because of the way you can politic off of this. You're going to probably gain more of an advantage, -1, but you're probably going to gain more of an advantage to other opponents than you. So I think, putting this card in the format was a great idea. It was a bad idea, I mean. But it was a great idea, in the long run of the donate mechanic. And I kept running with the donate mechanic because I thought it was good. I think the problem lies in this card with the politics that you can create. You can just give it to one player and they can give it back to you. And yeah, that can kind of be messed up. And I felt like this card, it reminded me of Trade Secrets in that it can really sway one game or another the wrong way, and we kind of don't want that. So that's why I banned it in the Manor format, and that's why you probably don't see it ever. So next up we have King Sombra. This one's a weird one. It's a 3 black 4/3 with Death Touch and Menace. God damn, that's going to be hard to get rid of. And then each land in play is a 0/2 that cannot block crystal token with add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Whenever this card deals combat damage to a player, create that many crystal tokens for each 0/1 crystal token on the battlefield with sacrifice it, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So this is kind of a weird card, but you can get so much value out of this. I've seen Manor decks where they try to build it off Torment of Hailfire, where you can get quite of a good deal because of the way how much damage you can deal to an opponent. It's pretty good. I mean, it's just you can create 4 of those things. Yeah, Death Touch and Menace. I mean, you better be hoping that you can efficiently block this. So it can get kind of out of control. Next up, we have a really top tier card, and it's Mage Meadowbrook. And I say it's top tier because it's a 4 green, white. So you're in for a run for your money. 5/4 with flash. Players cannot play instants or sorcery spells. Oof. That is a kick to the nuts if I've ever seen one. And then it has whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. That's right, you gain 2 life. Not 1, 2. And yeah, this is pretty degenerate, honestly. This card can really shut down most commander decks, if not like majority of them. Well, I guess probably not Edric decks. Those are probably still top tier. But it probably shuts them off too because they can't play their extra turn spells. So the point is, to this deck, you're probably just going to build it around creatures, enchantments, planeswalkers, you name it. Just don't play those instant source spells. You probably need 1 or 2, but that's it. And this can be really degenerate. It's not a really good card for standard though because it's really slow. So I mean, adding the flash would be pretty good, but it's still pretty slow, honestly. So yeah, I mean, this card is pretty nuts, and don't know why it's not banned. It's probably because of the Get-Octeeg argument. But the same could be said because at least you can play the instance and source like under 3. This one you really can't. So it's a pain in the ass to deal with. And honestly, the only way to remove it is by using creatures to remove it or enchantment-based effects that will turn it into like a frog or something else like that. Next up, we have Magical Read, which is really played in the standard Manor format. And it's a 2 blue instant for draw 2 cards and then discard a card unless you played a spell this turn. Oh boy, I mean, it's a pretty efficient draw spell. And usually when they cast it, they're gonna like play an opt and then this, and you can get so much value out of this card. And it's just a pretty solidly good card, and you know, I did a good job on this one, so I don't really have much to say about this one. Next up, we have Mistmane Beauty Keeper. It's a 5 green blue legendary creature unicorn, and it's when you cast Mistmane Beauty Keeper, return all artifacts and lands from your graveyard to the battlefield. Oof, that's pretty good. And then all other permanents you control have hexproof. So, yeah, it's pretty nice. I think the only problem is it's a little bit underpowered, except for the cast. I think you could do a lot of like really, really messed up stuff with that. But of course, it's a cast trigger. If it was an enter trigger, you can go with the infinite. You can go with like infinite combos and stuff. So I didn't really want to do that, so I left it with the cast trigger. So yeah, I actually paid attention for once and looked up the infinite combo with that other card. I forgot what its name was, but yeah, it's pretty degenerate if you get it out. Just looking at the chat. Next up, we have Nightmare Immune. This one's also a unique one for black. It's a 4 black, flying in fear. This creature can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures. At your attack phase, target a creature an opponent controls, and that target creature has, whenever Nightmare Moon attacks, tap a creature you control. They don't untap. So the point of this card is to basically strike fear and try to just oppress the board, with a bunch of stuff, and they don't untap stuff. So yeah, that's pretty brutal. I mean, I guess if you get this card out, you're kind of safe a little bit because it needs to turn to attack. So it's not that good, but once you can attack with it, I mean, it has that thing permanently. So I mean, unless you can rename a creature, then oof, it's gonna be really hard to try to get around this. Next up, we have Nightmare Moon's Assassin, which is also played in guards decks as well. This one's a little bit better because it's a 2 black Pegasus Bat 3/2, and it has Flying and Flash, and it says destroy target tapped creatures, which is way better than Royal Assassin in every way. I think the only thing Royal Assassin has going for it is that it's costed less, but it doesn't have the flash. So like if they attacked, I mean, you can kind of just kill a creature out of nowhere, and that could be kind of devastating. So this is probably just way better than Royal Assassin, to be honest. So solidly built card. Next up, we have Pinkie Pie. Oh my goodness, it's so cringy. It's a one white blue legendary creature pony, and Pinkie Pie has all activated abilities from all creatures you control. Oh boy. I mean, it's pretty messed up, but I guess it's like okay. I haven't really seen any infinites with it. I think Shapeshare has been the only one. But it says Pinkie Pie, so you can't. Oh, I guess you could make a copy of Pinkie Pie with Shapeshare, and it has that ability technically, because I think the card says it has its abilities, but I'm not too sure how that works, so I don't know. That's just it's a pretty okay card, and I haven't seen people break it, so it's fine, I guess. Next up, we have another underpowered card, Princess Cadence. It's 2 white blue. Flying, and creatures you control gain lifelink and flying. I mean, I think the flying is just where that gets me. But I honestly rather run Archetype of Imagination because it turns off your opponent's creatures with flying. So you'd probably just put it in the deck though, honestly. So, it's an okay card, but I think it's a little bit underpowered. So yeah, I guess it says. I guess this thing technically has lifelink too. So yeah, It's pretty okay though. Next up, we have Princess Celestia. Oh gosh, 4 white, white. Legendary creature Alicorn with Flash, Hexproof, and Flying. Wow, that's powerful. And all other creatures you control. And yeah, the little arrow right there, gain protection, is one word. So yeah, from creatures, black, red, and instant spells. Wow, I should have just said instants. And I didn't even finish the sentence before new period. So yeah, I mean, pretty incomplete card. And you may have Princess Celestia go to exile anytime to make you not lose the game for the rest of the game until a creature dies. Wow. Okay, that's ridiculous. I mean, it's kind of like worship, except like kind of a worse version of it. So, I mean, for green, they're gonna really suffer, but for any other color, I think they can kind of get around this, especially in Commander. So, I don't know, maybe it's not that powerful. I guess cheating it into play is kind of degenerate, but you know, you can't really get around that. Next up, we have Princess Luna, 2 blue black, Alicorn with flying. It's 3/4. Whenever a creature other than Princess Luna is tapped, creatures don't untap during the next untap step. Oh my goodness. This is gonna repress attacking, and it's a body. So I think that's pretty powerful, especially like Nightmare Moon was nothing compared to this. This is really powerful. Just put it in a degenerate deck that taps down creatures, and there you go. It's pretty bonkers, honestly. You can tap down the whole board and kind of just prison them out. Next up, we have Princess Reunion Finale. It's a 2 white, blue, black legendary enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control Princess Twilight Sparkle, Princess Celestia, Princess Luna, and Princess Cadence, you win the game. I haven't seen anyone pull this off, so I think this is an okay card to keep in the game. But you know, stuff can happen, and you know, I've seen some decks, so maybe it's not too broken. So yeah. Next up, we have Princess Twilight Sparkle. It's a 4 blue blue legendary creature Alicorn with flying and hexproof. 4/5. And whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery, put a study counter on Twilight Sparkle. And at the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card for each study counter on Twilight Sparkle. So this is an okay powered card. I feel like the wording on it's kind of weird. It's whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery, it didn't say this turn or any turn. It just said your first instant and sorcery. So I don't know if they mean by 1 or 2, but you know the wording's kind of weird on it. Honestly, I should have done a better job on it. Probably just shortcut it or something. But whatever. It's an okay card. You can get out of control once you start storming off. So yeah. Next up, we have another broken degenerate card. It's Queen Chrysalis for 5 black and a black. Hooray! It's a changeling, and it has changeling. Yes. When you cast Queen Chrysalis, it may become a copy of any permanent and retains her other abilities. And that says permanent, yes. So you can make it any permanent, even a planeswalker. And it has her ability still. So, like, that's kind of weird. And at the end, you can tap it to create 2 1/1 changelings with. When this token enters, it becomes a copy of any creature in graveyard or the battlefield. So, pretty messed up. When you cast her, it becomes Clever Impersonator. And then when you have her on the battlefield, you can create more of these monstrosities. And by the way, that said any creature, so you can copy Queen Chrysalis. And I believe since she's already been copied, she will not have the legendary thing. So you can make a copy of her, and yeah, that can get out of control. I guess it says when it casts, so maybe not. Maybe it's not too broken. And next up, we have another really powerful card, and it's Rainbow Dash. Oh yes, 2 blue blue legendary creature Pegasus with a lot of keywords of flying, flash, and cannot be countered. Holy crap. And whenever Rainbow Dash attacks alone and is not blocked, she returns a target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So that's kind of messed up. I mean, when you flash this in, they're not going to expect it, and it can't be countered nevertheless. So the only way you can probably kill this is in black. So that's pretty messed up that it returns a non-land permanent. So yeah, it's pretty fun. I don't know why I'm hitting these ponies here, but I am. I don't know. I'm kind of just not in the mood right now. Next up, we have Rarity Luxury Mare for 2 white blue legendary creature unicorn. Whenever you cast your first artifact spell, and it didn't say this turn, draw a card. Your first, so it's not Shram, but it has a lot of other stuff. Equipment you cast attaches to Rarity Luxury Mare, so when you cast any equipment, it has to attach to her. And then you can play 3 white, return an artifact you control to your hand. Artifacts gain indestructible until end of turn. So, it's a pretty good build around. So I have really no complaints about this card. Next up, we have Hoof of Legends. It's a 4 red and white, haste and double strike, so pretty much a 8/6, if I'm not mistaken. And whenever Hoof attacks, all creatures you control gain +2/+2 and trample until end of turn. That's usually a green word key ability. I guess sometimes it could be white though. I've seen some cards. And then you can pay 3 red and a white. There is an additional main phase followed by an additional attack phase, except untap Hoof and he gains Menace. Holy crap, those don't really mix, especially the Menace. Menace is usually for black. And then some cases for some cases it's usually for green. Never for red and white though. I mean, I guess maybe red, but I haven't actually seen any cards. So, yeah, this card's pretty busted, and it's kind of a mistake that I even printed it. Especially giving it +2/+2 until end of turn. Especially if you can use the three in red and white abilities. So yeah, I don't know. Next up, we have Royal Celestial Guard for 1 white, has vigilance, and you may block an additional creature. So it's just a good combat thing. It's a 2/2 though. I mean, it's not that good. I guess it has vigilance going for it though. So I still like this in guard decks. So it's a pretty solid card nevertheless. And next up we have Royal Equestrian Knight, and it's a 3 red and white creature pony with double strike and trample. Whenever Royal Equestrian Knight attacks, it isn't blocked, and you control 2 or more creatures. All other creatures you control have trample and double strike. Again with the trample, it should be a green keyword ability. I don't know why I was thinking putting trample on this card. So yeah, I don't know. And next up we have another one of the guards. It's Royal Knight Guard. It's a 2 black, and it has Death Touch and Vigilance. So yeah, pretty good, I guess, for a 2/2. The only problem is I think the vigilance part is usually a white thing, so maybe I could have made it 2 or one black and a white, and then everything would have been fine. So yeah, I don't know about this card. Shouldn't have vigilance on it. Next up, we have Somnambula, the hopeful 6 white blue legendary Pegasus. With flying and cannot be countered. Somnambula hopeful enters from your hand with 3 destiny counters. Remove 1 destiny counter and choose 1. Use this ability only once each turn. So you're going to see where this kind of goes. So you're going to gain 10 life, or draw 3 cards, or exile all target creatures with power 6 or greater, or destroy all their creatures with power 4 or less. Holy crap, that is powerful. Especially that it can't be countered, and you can remove 1 destiny counter when it comes into play. That's pretty good. For a commander, though, you're going to be the #1 target, so I don't know why I made this card, honestly, have that. So kind of a weird way to say that. Next up, we have Soul Reading. So yeah, this is going to be used for like some messed up combos. It's never even used for its actual thing. but it's a sorcery. Search your library for an instant card, and then shuffle your library. By the way, it didn't say put it in your hand. It just said search. So yeah, kind of a stupid thing to do. But people just use the transmute cost anyways, so I don't really care how it's said. Next up, we have Starlight Glimmer, which is another powerful card, by the way. 3 white, blue, hexproof unicorn, 5/4. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery, you may search your library for an instant or sorcery with the casted spells converted mana cost, then shuffle your library. Again, it didn't say your hand. It goes in your hand. It didn't say that. So I don't know what the wording is with that, but it should say your hand. Next up, we have another banned card. This is Starswirl the Bearded. It doesn't have any like power and toughness, so I don't know what is in there. 7 blue blue legendary creature unicorn with hexproof, mind you. And the reason why it's banned is this ability. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, cast another instant or sorcery from your hand without paying its mana cost. Yeah, pretty degenerate. I don't know why I printed this card. Especially with the other ability, with shuffle your graveyard and your hand into your library, draw 7 cards. You can just cheat this out, and it gives you so much value. Like, what the hell was I thinking printing this card? I don't know. But the next 3 should be a little bit more flavorful than this degenerate piece of crap, so yeah. Because next up we have Time Spell. 6 blue blue with sorcery with shuffle your hand in your graveyard into your library, draw 7, and take an extra turn after this one. So pretty good. I think it's a little bit balanced. But it should said or, and I guess it's only for you. So it's kind of one-sided, honestly. If it was just Time Twister and just take an extra turn, would have been fine. But I think it's a little bit overpowered because you're the only one who gets to do it. So yeah. And it has like the little whatever. What is it called? Wish could turn back time to the good old days. This is stupid. So cringy. Next up, we have TRex, Centaur of Evil. So this is a 5 black red, so good Rakdos 6/6 with trample and haste. And whenever TRex, Centaur of Evil attacks alone, creatures defending opponent controls lose all abilities and have -X/-X counters until end of turn, where X is TRex, Centaur Evil's power. So that's a lot. It's like you can kill anything that's 6 toughness or greater. But yeah, I could just pump up TRex, Centaur of Evil, kind of kill a lot of creatures. I mean, it says as long as it's attacking alone. So, I don't know what this card really means. Is it Tron base? Is it Destroying Research? What? So I don't know what I was going there. And then here's the last one, Trixie the Great and Powerful. It's a 2 blue legendary creature unicorn. Whenever you cast a spell, you may have target opponent cast a spell, and it says you may have, then their spells gain clash. If they can't, draw 2 cards. If they can't, they gain control of Trixie the Great and Powerful. So you kind of see where this is going. It's kind of a politic kind of card. And then if they can't, you draw 2 cards. But most of the time, it shouldn't have said you may have. It should have said you must. You must have target opponent cast a spell, and their spells gain flash. If they can't, draw 2 cards. So yeah, it's pretty busted once you think about it. It's errata to say they have to cast the spells, so you can play like politics with it, and yeah, it could be kind of a weird kind of thing. And that's it for all the cards. I do have other cards I could show you, but I'm kind of want to get on to the other topic now, which is a thing of a thing. A thing of a thing. Did I really just say that? Yes, I did just say that. I don't think he's streaming anymore, so I can get a guest on here if I really want to. Because the next topic is getting people's opinion on the meta. So I can kind of ask, like, okay, here's the current meta. So I can search up like what the current meta is. Standard meta MTG. But yeah, MTG Goldfish. That's the best way of putting it. It's usually gonna be, yeah, okay. So like Manscape Shift, Orbs on Vampires, and Esper Control. It's just crazy. And I can't believe 4-color Legends on here. But yeah, there's just a lot of these decks are kind of like in the thing. Of course, there's like Mono Red Aggro, Ban Ramp, Force Feather, Mono Blue Tempo. So yeah. I think the deck I'm really afraid of is the Orzhov Vampires because they're probably going to stay even after rotation. This deck is a pain in the ass to deal with, and let me tell you, my Flash deck barely had a chance against it. I think the most time they gain value, honestly, on their Planeswalkers. And you gotta watch out for those spells in particular. But I haven't run into too many of those. They honestly kind of cut these a little bit for more creatures. But they still have them, honestly. And I did beat an Orzhov Vampires deck with my Flash deck. But to be fair, I think they were a little bit fast. They didn't really have the Planeswalkers, so yeah, I don't know. Their sideboard's really what gets them, though, is the Duresses, the Legion's End, Noxus Grass. Yeah, all of these. So, honestly, they're a little bit hard to deal with. There's, like, creatures in general, like this Knight of Ebon Legion, that you really gotta watch out for. And then you gotta watch out for kind of for some of their bigger creatures, too. A Champion of the Dusk, I know, can draw them a bunch of cards. Sanctum Seeker can get them value with their attacks. Vona I haven't really ran into that much, so I don't know. It's mostly the Planeswalkers that have been giving me trouble. But then again, there's like, if you can't handle the creatures like this, you're in big trouble. They're gonna get so much value out of their creatures. This deck that hurts the most with it, honestly, I think is Mono Red Aggro. Grixis Control can also deal with this a little bit better too, in some circumstances though, because this deck can go a little bit fast if you're not careful. So you got to be really on your toes if you're ever thinking of using a Wrath or something like that. So yeah. Advanced Scape Shift. I mean, Advanced Scape Shift's really good. Too bad Scape Shift will be rotating, so we won't have to see this deck for a while. And this, I think the problem with this deck is the land itself, which is getting just, yeah, Field of the Dead. That's how it basically wins. So I don't know how you would kind of, defeat this deck. The land is the problem. I guess the way you can kind of defeat it though is by countering the Scape Shift, but that's like for blue. I feel like that's not worth it. A lot of decks that can get around this, I feel like, are probably like I'm tired. Aggro decks. And so yeah, I think the aggro strategy, you kind of just want to get rid of them and stuff. So yeah. The lands are just pretty good though, so I don't know how you would kind of defeat this deck. They run so many lands. Their Hydroid Crisis just give them so much advantage. Killing it or countering it won't help anything. So you kind of just have to wait for Scape Shift or any of the ramp spells, and you'll be fine. I don't know how else you would escape this. So yeah, it's pretty messed up though. And then I see Esper Control, and we all know this piece of crap. I really don't like this deck. This deck is just AIDS on a plate. every one of their spells, they try to slow down the game. I think the Planeswalker aspect you really don't have to deal with, except for like Teferi Hero Dominaria. Other than that, though, you really have to deal with the spells, because that's really what's gonna kill everything. And as you can see, they're not really running any more like wrath spells anymore. They're running like single removal. It really doesn't make any sense anymore. They should just run like wrath now. But I guess, sometimes you have to cut it down for, the Planeswalkers. Uh, and I don't know why. I bet people have an answer for this, but yeah, I guess Cry the Carmarium is probably the only one they'll run. Oh, but there's a Kaya's Wrath. See, this one runs the Wrath. But some versions don't, and I don't know why. They should. That's what makes the deck really good. And if they don't want to run it, it's cool, I guess. I'm actually tired, guys, so I don't know if I'm going to keep this up for a bit. So I'll have to end the stream. No one came on. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great night. And I'll just upload this to YouTube and call it a regular video. So bye, and peace.